This is the magicwordpodcast.com.
Hello, this is Scott Wells for the magicwordpodcast.com. Well, I am off now to jolly old England, merry old England, whatever you want to call it. They're happy and jolly. And I'm going to go find out why. I'm heading over to Blackpool Convention, and I'm leaving out of DFW this time, which is Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, going through Washington over to London, where I will be joined by my traveling companions, Mr. Dal Sanders and Mark Whitehouse. Both here from the U.S., and we will spend a few days actually in England going to the Magic Circle on Monday night and some other kinds of activities that will be happening. But the main thing we're going over for, of course, is for Blackpool, which begins on Thursday. What would that be? 15th of February through 16th and 17th. So, and 18th, is that right? Yeah. So anyhow, we get in, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be reporting elsewhere probably about what's going on at the Magic Circle and elsewhere. But John Bannon's going to be the lecturer. I'm looking forward to seeing him. It's kind of funny to have to come all the way from the United States to see a United States lecturer. But I know John is a great lecturer, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be a really good lecture. And aside from that, I know we're expecting like about 3,500 magicians who will be attending Blackpool here this year. I haven't been since 2005 when Banachek and I had come over, and he was lecturing, and we had a booth downstairs. And that's another thing is we have just hundreds, I guess, of dealers who will be there in order for the 3,500 magicians to prey upon and come down, or vice versa, is it? Whichever one's going to get to spend some money, and the dealers to take our money. And not just take it, but give us some in return, some really cool stuff. Well, I'm going to be having, I'm sure, full episodes with a lot of people that I normally don't get to talk to because I've been attending American conventions, but this will be a little bit different attending than an English one from the standpoint of who you will get to hear me interact with. So I'm, again, looking forward to reporting from here and giving you some lively conversations and some quality content. But since I am at the airport, you know what that means? That's right, Dunkin' Donuts. And let's see what I got. Over here, I've got an eclair. Yes, a custard-filled eclair, and, of course, a chocolate. There we go. And I thought just to kind of top it off, just going to have a hazelnut espresso. Hold on. That's good. Good coffee. Well, there we go. So, anyhow, I am soon going to be winging my way over the pond, as they say, and we'll be taking my flying carpet from here, and really looking forward to it. I hope you guys will enjoy what's coming soon. So, for the Magic Word Podcast, see you on the other side. This is Scotty out. So we're here at the Magic Circle. We've made it here. This is on Monday night, and this is the night that typically the circle meets, and we just had a lecture by John Bannon, and it was a pretty full house. Apparently next week is going to be more full after more people come in from Blackpool. But Dal Sanders was traveling on, did you come in on British Airways? I came in
British Airways.
Yeah, so you had a different flight that I was on.
Yes. Yeah, I left later than you and got in earlier than you.
Yeah, well, I got here eventually, as fast as I could. Love this place. And I love this guy that we're with right now, also Ian Rowland. Hey, Ian.
Hi there. Great to see you.
Glad you're going to be going to Magic Live this year or not?
I wish I could, but I can't afford it. I'm so poor and unsuccessful.
Well, typically, it seems like when you're there, you're a presenter.
Well, yeah. I mean, in the days when I used to write for the magazine, Stan was very nice, and he said, here, have a ticket, come over and lecture, and I would. But now that doesn't exist anymore, and I'm so poor and failure and unsuccessful, I have no money, and I can't afford to go. So if anybody out there wants to, take me under their wing, I love Magic Live. It's a great convention. It's one of the very, very, very best, and I wish I could go to it again.
It really is a great convention. I remember you were talking one year about the cards that you cut up and fold around, and you still do that? What are they called? Confounding card.
No, they have the worst, least imaginative title ever. I call them Ian cards because my name is Ian and they're cards and I make them. And they are, technically they're called kirigami. Start with one card, some slits and folds, and they turn into amazing shapes and people's initials and all sorts of wonderful things. But there's no glue or joining together. Anyway, a really great subject to talk about on an audio-only medium where nobody can see any. It's like doing this on the radio. You know, it's like talking about great art on the radio.
But you can create such images in people's minds, like make an elephant disappear, that you can talk about it even though that you don't
exactly.
see it.
I think the benefit of this medium is that I can just say they are single-handedly the greatest work of art that's ever been seen in human history. But for now, you'll just have to take my word for that.
Well, you can go. They can go to your website, can't they?
No. There's nothing about them on my website.
Really?
Really?
Because you don't sell them.
I do, again, wrong guess. I do sell them, but there's nothing about them on my website.
So where can they go to buy them?
It doesn't work like that. This as an interview. This is tanging horribly, and it's not Scott's fault. It's mine. But they're just not a big enough thing that I do that I've ever bothered putting them on the website.
So basically, people need to hire you for magic conventions.
Oh yeah. That's exactly the
That's
point
why
I
I got
was
Dal
going to
here.
meet. That's what I was going to mention, Dal. So anybody who wants to see these extraordinarily amazing, intriguing, fascinating, beautiful cards, I'd be happy to display them at a magic convention. Especially, I mean, you know how much I love Las Vegas, and I mean, if ever that was to happen, everybody would be able to see them, and I'd be able to sell them at a heavily discounted rate. But who knows whether that's ever going to happen? Scott, Dal, who knows?
Well, as I recall, that there was an article, was it Magic or was it Genie, where that they had like an 8-page article about you?
I think that was Genie. I think
a few years ago.
Yeah, ancient history. So.
Yeah, but you still need to kind of keep up with that, so you kind of know what people, what they are. Actually, they're just pretty amazing. I tell you what, this. Yeah,
Ian just put some of these amazing pieces of art in my hand.
I'm going to take a picture of this, so when you go to the website at themagicwordpodcast.com, you can see this. But they are, it's amazing. Like you said, they're origami, so they just kind of...
Kirigami. Origami would involve cutting. These don't.
Okay. Isn't that amazing?
This is truly incredible.
Yeah.
And, I mean, not to kind of toot my own flute, but as far as I'm aware, I'm literally the only person in the world who makes these or knows how to.
Wow. So the secret could die with you.
The secret will die with me.
You're not teaching, you're not apprenticing anybody.
No.
By the way, I think it's kind of interesting for those of you who are regular listeners might know that Ian and I go back a long way, that when you are interested in going back in the archives and listening to anybody that has ever appeared on the podcast episodes, just go back to the archives place. I got a tab there, and Ian is one many years ago suggesting, wouldn't that be nice, Scott, if you actually had an archive tab that you'd be able to do that. So we went back to Squarespace and found out if they could do that, and sure enough, we do. So if you're looking for anything, of course, there's a search function there too, but the archives is something that I would encourage you to go back and take a look at. But Ian's the guy who made that suggestion. Thank you again, Ian, for making my podcast better.
There's very few times that I ever improve anything. I usually make things a lot worse.
Wait, you said that he made it better, but you've never had Ian on your podcast.
Let's not mention that, Dal. It's kind of a sore point, really.
Did he make it better by never being interviewed by you?
I think
what
so.
You're saying? It's...
Generally speaking, everyone who knows me will say I make everything better by not being involved in it.
By being kind of out of sight and out of mind. And
nothing to do with
out of the whole building.
Yeah. The happiest women in the world are the ones I've never dated or been with. It's like every time I don't make a contribution, that's the best I get. Everything else is just negative from zero.
So you got a recent lady having
seen you in a while. You got somebody new, or last time we were FISM, I think it was somebody.
If you asked me this question about 4 or 5 months ago, yes, but not currently.
Okay.
So the good news is, for the women of the world,
You're
back
available.
I mean, you know, I can't imagine the amount of response you're going to get to this audio interview.
That's right.
From that news.
A lot of magic women are interested.
Well,
They will seek you out.
I'm just going to ask them to please be discreet and gentle with me. That's all I ask. That's all I ask.
And the name of the book, by the way, that you had written that was about cold reading, what was that, by the way? I don't want to get into that too much right now, but...
No, don't. I've written 3 books on cold reading.
Yeah.
That's how boring I am. You see, a boring guy would have written 1. A slightly more boring guy would have written 2. But somebody utterly with nothing else to do with his life would have written 3. And I've done 3.
Why haven't you had this guy on a podcast?
Okay, I'm thinking about it. I'm getting closer to thinking about it. And you also write a column for...
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
for Magic Circular.
I wrote for the Magic Circular, Magic Circular magazine, for about 12 years, and then Stan asked me to do a mentalism column for 5 years for Magic, and there was a period of time when they overlapped, so I was doing 2 columns a month, completely separate columns, and it was great fun. It was tremendous fun. I really, really loved doing that. And the only thing I don't understand, I mean, it's great to be here with you, Scott, and with you, Dal, but why, when you got your microphone out, why did you insist we do all this nude? Fully naked. I don't know why we couldn't have done this clothed. What was the point?
Well, it's because we're at the Magic Circle, and that's kind of what they told me.
No. You can wear clothes in the clubroom.
You can?
Yeah.
Well, Dal
I don't
told
know
me...
why. I mean, listen, I've got nothing to hide. I mean, it's lovely to meet you guys, but I feel
Obviously
a bit
you have nothing to
awkward.
hide.
A little bit awkward about doing it completely naked. I don't know why you insisted on this.
Well, you know, whenever that you pull these cards out of your butt to show him while ago, it just kind of, it's like, okay, so that's where you keep your secrets.
I mean, I had heard the rumors about the way you do these interviews. I'd never experienced it for myself. And I'm just sorry that there aren't, like, cameras covering it. It's really quite a sight. But if you don't mind...
in your opinion...
I'm getting a little bit cold. Is it okay if I eventually put my clothes back on?
Well, let's finish this...
Okay.
And then you can get dressed again. So, for the Magic Word Podcast, that was Dal Sanders and Ian Rowland here at the Magic Circular. We're after the John Bannon lecture. Magic Circle. Where the heck did I say? What did I say?
Yeah, you said Magic Circular. That's the magazine.
Yeah, you said that a while ago, Circular, and I keep getting it. Oh, well, I'm going to have another scotch. Scotty out. Well, as we're walking about the circle, that another lady I ran into is someone that you've heard on the podcast. It's been some years ago. I don't get to see her often enough. Occasionally she'll come to the 4F convention, but here she is now, Fay Presto. Hi there, Fay.
Hello.
Great to see you again. And she was just setting up this amazing little kind of a material over a table.
Well, the circle has got these very decorative round tables that everybody sits around and sessions.
Yeah.
And it's a terrible surface, so I found this
It's a slick surface, so you can't really spread cards or
I
anything.
can't do anything, so I'm going to sort that out. That's sorted.
You said something interesting also about giving up your... about not kneeling down, about bottle through table. What was?
I maintain that to do bottles through table properly, you have to kneel down. Is this for magicians? Yeah. You have to clip the bottle between you and the table. In order to do that, you have to kneel down and clip it between your breastbone and the edge of the table. Then, when you let go of the bottle top and you lean back, the timing is exactly right. And people know that. If you're holding it between your knees, timing's wrong. And people know that. Now, problem is, when you kneel down in front of your audience to push the bottle through the table, your eye line goes about an inch below the eye line of your audience.
So they're looking down on you, kind of?
Well, no, they're not looking down on you. See, that's a very male way of putting it. They're not looking down on you. But the very construction of that phrase, they're looking down on you, means that you're going off in the wrong direction. I regard it as the moment when the toreador turns his back on the bull.
Yeah.
Right? He's got the bull under such control that he can turn his back on the bull. And the bull is just there and will not butt into him. And by the time I get to pushing a bottle through a table, the audience is mine. We are friends. We love each other. They trust me. I trust them. And so to adopt a position where my eye line is an inch or so lower than the audience's doesn't matter to me.
But do you feel like you're having control whenever that you're walking up to a table? As I know you work a lot of restaurants, and they're seated and you're standing. Do you feel like you have more control, though?
Well, yeah, it's because it's the only way you can do it, because in this country, it's never a spare seat at a table. So you've got to work standing. And I don't want to sit down and move chairs around.
Right.
So
you're imposing on their private space, basically.
And they want to see a little bit more, and I will show them a little bit more. But I've built a sense of trust with the audience. So when it comes to that moment where I'm going to push the bottle through the table, it doesn't matter that my eye line is lower than theirs, because we're family by then. And I see it time and again. I see guys trying to hold it between their knees or sitting at a table and lapping it, and it just doesn't work.
What? Say it again. Sorry, I got a little loud there. What?
They're lapping it. They're holding it between their knees.
Yeah.
They're doing all sorts of things. The only place to do it is clip it between your sternum and the edge of the table.
Yeah, you have to lean in.
You have to lean into the table,
Okay.
and it's then the timing between pulling your finger out the top of the bottle and it hitting the floor is exactly right. And audiences know if the timing isn't right. They don't know why they know.
There's a fraction of a second off. It's like, that didn't sound right.
Yeah, it's only got to be a split second out, and they don't even know that they don't know that it's not right. It's just one of those things where you go, when you look at a perfect painting, you know it's right. If it's not perfect, you go, I don't know why it's not right, it's not right.
Yeah. I understand. Well, you looking forward to Blackpool this year?
No, I hate conventions.
You not?
I hate conventions.
Well, you come to 4F convention, but that's different.
4F's different.
Yeah.
4F's is different. But no, most conventions, it's work. You have to be there. It's a chance to restock, buy bits, make sure you've got the right coins and things.
Yeah.
But it's what you have to do. I'm not a conventioneer.
Well, you obviously went many years ago, I guess, but just you kind of decided that's too big or it's not really for me. And
what?
Blackpool.
Blackpool? No, I go every year.
So you like that convention?
No, I don't like that convention.
But you go anyhow.
You have to go. Professionally, you need to be there.
Yeah.
And you do see someone, and you meet friends, and you do meet people who you've chatted to. And
sure.
But
yeah.
It's...
So tell me about someplace, as we start to wrap up over here, that you're working that's really exciting, that or maybe someplace you worked last year that you really proud of.
No, I've got the Ned under my belt, which is the biggest. If you've ever seen Mary Poppins, the Ned is the bank that Mr. Banks used to work in, but it's now an entertainment complex. It's got 200 or 300 bedrooms. It's got a roof terrace. It's got 4 or 5 restaurants on the ground floor. It's got a club. And I'm in there a couple of nights a week, and then that spreads out into corporates and privates.
Yeah, fantastic.
I mean, I live to be on stage.
I know you do.
But you've got to eat, so you have to do close-up.
Will you travel with, was it the Champions of Magic that you were?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So that's still out? I mean, they keep changing
I have no
people.
idea. I got fired at 2 hours' notice, and I still don't know
I remember,
why.
I think we talked about that on the podcast a while back.
Yeah,
That's been a couple of years ago.
It was a couple of years ago. Hurt like crazy. Still don't know why.
Yeah, I'm sorry to bring that up.
It's all right.
But yeah, I know, you like the stage and you like to be able to perform.
Yeah.
Do you like stage better than close-up?
Well, I love doing stage, but I've got to eat. So
you do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do, and the energy required to put a solo show together and get it out on the road is enormous. Yeah. That's a young person's thing.
I remember many years ago, and I mean like 2005, I remember you were working in Blackpool with Romany, and it was an all-woman show. I think you were doing close-up, and you also did some stage, too. I can't remember who else was on.
Yeah, no, we were round at the... there was a little venue round the corner.
It was.
There was Mandy Muden and Romany and me, and we did this women's show. It was great fun.
That was a great time.
We had dancers and everything, yeah.
Have you ever gotten together with that group again and done anything?
Well, we meet socially, but...
Sure, but you haven't really put together a show again?
No, somebody put it together.
Oh, they did for you. So
Somebody said, we're going to do this show. Yeah. So would you be in it? Yes.
Yeah. Well, that was a really good show, and I enjoyed it a lot. And I thought that you added a lot to it to begin with, of doing some close-up before the show began.
Yeah, you get warmed up.
Exactly.
And they love you and know you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't hold with that. You mustn't see you before the show or anything. Just get out there and make friends.
Yeah. Well, Fay, always good to see you and talk with you. I'm glad that I had a chance to visit with you. Good seeing you here.
And at least that's what Blackpool does. It does things like that.
It does.
So let's celebrate those.
And that's what we're going to do this year with 3,500 of us, or however many. It's going to be great. So with the Magic Word Podcast, that was Fay Presto. This is Scotty out. And so we are, it's a little bit quieter because they're starting to close things down. People are getting ready to head over to different restaurants and a few bars. I assume that around 10:30 they start to shut things down here at the Circle. And speaking of that, I've got the current president, Marvin Bergas, with me right now. Hey there, Marvin.
Hey, how are you? You all right?
I'm nothing less than fantastic.
Have you enjoyed your tour around the Magic Circle?
I have. Well, I haven't really taken a tour around here. It's been a few years since I was last here, so I know that you're continuing to work. And last time I was here, I was lecturing, and that was in, I don't know what year that was, 2015 maybe or something. So it's been a while back.
It's a very special place. It's a very unique feel because we're right in the heart of central London, yet it's hidden away, and it's the type of building from the outside you'd think doesn't look anything particularly special.
Our taxi couldn't even find the place.
Yeah. Well, funny enough you say that, because for our London cabbies, it's actually on the route. It's one of the things they need to know to do their knowledge, which is amazing. So maybe it wasn't a black cabbie you got?
He dropped us off at a block over. It was a private cab.
Oh, that's it. You see, you always take the London black cabs.
Okay,
they're the people that know all the knowledge. And as you say, as part of their training, they need to know where this place is. But let me tell you, as soon as you get in, you've got this amazing staircase, which you look up and down, and it just looks like in Doctor Who, there's a TARDIS. You know, it just seems so much bigger than it could possibly
inside,
be.
right?
Yeah. And it's a very unique staircase, and we have a museum with some amazing artifacts. In fact, the whole place is a museum with lots of posters and artifacts around the building.
And the library, of course.
The library is sensational. It's probably the biggest magic library, I would say, in Europe. And we have maybe, I think they said it was something like nearly 13,000 books.
Wow.
And obviously it's a great lending library and a great reference library. Obviously all the magazines. We could do with double the space, quite frankly. I mean, this is the challenge.
Are you thinking about maybe finding another place,
well,
or maybe having an annex?
Well, we'd love to see what's available, but we need some huge benefactors. So anyone listening out here, come back and speak to me. You never know.
What are some plans you got then right now for the existing facility?
Well, the first thing is that we've got a fantastic atmosphere here now, and it's a really good vibe. I hope you felt that. Every week we have the magicians coming in from all over Europe, and obviously the ones in London in particular, and we have some great guest lecturers. We have interviews, we have the examinations which have a high energy as well, and we have other things like we're starting some new things where we take something from our museum and someone explains about it, or their favourite book, or I do something called Rabbit and Revelations, where Rabbit is actually a sort of a Cockney London term for if you've got a lot of rabbit, it means you talk a lot. So rabbit, it's sort of a play on words of rabbit, and Revelations, we reveal something about them. So we have some members, literally from King Charles to someone who might be a cabbie or a tax driver, a politician or a greengrocer, and we hear about their lives and how magic's come into that. And that's always very interesting to get to know our members.
And you have been the person who has kind of facilitated that.
I did that when I was vice president for a few, before, and then it's had a gap, and now we're starting again. And I'm trying to evoke a lot of energy into the place, and we're finding. I'm really encouraged that we've got a lot of younger members who are coming out.
I was impressed by that whenever I was in the lounge in there. How many younger people are doing tricks and stuff.
Yeah, the sort of dynamic is changing. It is a good vibe, and they bring to things that, perhaps some of the older guys, have had a different type of training. So they bring some technology and some, normally you'd say to a young kid, you'd say, let's see what you got. And they do their double lift or whatever, and you'd say, yeah, but how about this way? This time when they do their moves, say, very good. You got to teach me that sometime. They're really sensational. I don't think they've learned very quickly. And we have a young magicians club here, which is thriving. We've got 2 members.
And Ed Hilsum is
Ed Hilsum and Harry De Cruz, who've come up through the ranks, and they're really perfect. And
I had Ed on as one of my guests about an episode one time. You go back and search that.
He's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good. And so we're trying to get the right people in the right place. And I just think I'm really encouraged by it. And I hear some nice things. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of challenges, as you can imagine, when you're looking after nearly 1,900 members, but generally it's a really great place to
I think
be.
one of the best things that happened for me being in the U.S. was during Zoom that you started having Zoom lectures and then have carried that on. So actually I think you might have started that a little bit before COVID, before we had lockdown. And I know that Daryl works with that. The video to make sure that on Monday nights.
We have a whole streaming team who work with our tech team. And when you think about it, that was perhaps one of the things that you might not have wanted to join the Magic Circus because you wouldn't be visiting now.
Yeah, you don't get the benefits, but now you do get every benefit.
You get everything. It's an incredible value. Firstly, you get the fact that you say you are a member of what we consider the world's most prominent Magic Society.
It means a lot to me.
Yeah, thank you. But also you've got 100+ years of all our magazines that you have digital access to and you can see, and of course we have our lectures and our past archive lectures that you can actually stop, rewind, refer and find. So and with this, as you say, a lot of our lectures are live, so we have an inclusive community. So in the theatre, even if the theatre was, let's say, 3/4 full, we have a theatre of 164 people. Sometimes it's full, sometimes 3/4 full, but you might see double or triple that watching online, and that's very exciting.
Well, like this evening, we were watching John Bannon, and they were saying that there are 60 people watching this live right now. And of course, you can watch this later too.
Yeah. Well, we had, for example, last week we had our Magic Circle close-up competition.
Yeah, right.
I invited quite a few celebrities in, and it was a really good vibe, and it's a nice feel. So we're very excited, and we would love to welcome more international guests.
How would people join?
Well, you would firstly look on our website, which is themagiccircle.co.uk, and we will also there's been some adverts where there's a QR code and you can just see how to join, and you want to get a member or someone to recommend you or to propose to second you, which we'd be happy to do. And if you're well established, we'll obviously look at that slightly differently as well. But normally you would do an exam or something like that. But for our overseas people, you can now do that on Zoom, and we'll get through that. So I thoroughly recommend it. It's a fantastic value, and
it really is, whether you get over here or not. But I hope that you do, because
if you do come and say hello, and we'll make you feel very welcome. What's really great about Magic is that inside the club room, you've got some people who I consider some of the best magicians around the world, and they're sessioning with people just starting out, and it's a whole vibe. That doesn't happen in sport or music, where you get people rubbing shoulders and mixing, and I just really love that. And that's
a lot of professionals.
Yeah, it's really good.
Well, Marvin, very good. Thanks very much, and for doing all that you've done, and congratulations on your presidency, and good luck on into the future here.
Thank you very much indeed. Nice.
So for the Magic Word Podcast, that was Marvin Bergas. This is Scotty out. Just arrived at the Winter Garden, and the convention is about to begin. It's, oh my goodness, almost 10 o'clock here. Got about a minute to go. But before we go into the room, I'm going to go see if I can catch Paul Romani's lecture. There are a couple of other things that are going concurrently with each other, but I thought real quick I would speak with Johan Stall, who is from Sweden, and Ian Rowland had just introduced us, and hello.
Hello.
I'm anxious to have a chance to chat with you. So you've been coming for a number of years, I'm assuming. Then.
I have.
What number is this for you?
I don't know. I competed here at FISM 2012. Mm-hmm. But
in cards, coins, what were you?
I did parlor magic.
Okay.
Got second place after Jan Frisch. But this, my eighth time here.
Mm-hmm. Your eighth time. And so have you competed at other FISMs as well?
Yes, in Beijing as well.
You didn't compete in Stockholm?
No, that was before I got started.
Okay, I was going to say, it was like your backyard
Yeah.
there. Why would you come all the way here when you got it there, you know?
Yeah.
So you haven't been doing magic all that long then necessarily, then, is that right?
I've been doing it full-time 22 years now.
And when you're doing parlor, is it talking in various languages, or how do you speak?
I do many things now. I do after I won Sweden's Got Talent, I do my own show in Sweden right now. I'm about to go on tour, so it's a stage show for about 200 to 500 people.
Yeah. What is it about this convention that makes you keep wanting to come back to this one?
The crazy mixture of everything. It's just mad.
Magic overload.
Yes. But it's so nice with all the dealers, old friends, all the shows, and so much. It's like a smorgasbord.
Yeah, it really is. Well, again, it's stuff going on right now. We'll get a chance to chat a little bit later. Johan,
Fantastic.
pleasure. I enjoyed it. So with the Magic Word Podcast, that was Johan Stall. Scotty out. As we start to walk into the dealer's room, I was just watching one of the lectures. Obviously, a couple things going on simultaneous, but I don't want to miss anything, but it's hard to do that. And also, it's hard to get around to see all of great mates, but the first one I run into is a longtime friend of mine from Ireland, Pat Fallon. Hey there, Pat. How are you?
Scott, it's great to see you. And you haven't changed a bit.
Well, no, nor have you, my friend. I remember when we were just talking about when we had met back in the early 90s, I guess, when it was Dunleary. In
Dunleary.
That's right. What I remember was that we were going to get together, and you said, we'll meet you in the hotel. And I didn't know if you recognized me, but back then I was writing an article for Magic Magazine. You recognized my picture, from...
That's right, yeah.
You came straight over to me because I didn't know what you looked like.
Yeah.
Now, you were touring Ireland, as I recall, at the time.
Yeah, I was touring with Brendan Grace, a comedian.
Yes. And what was the lady's name that you were touring?
Tanya.
Tanya,
Yeah.
That's right, yes.
We did 16 years together. She was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
And a ballet dancer who decided to give up her ballet shoes for a rabbit, is what she always used to say in interviews.
Oh.
And she was a wonderful assistant. I mean, I've had some great assistants since, but she was she loved magic. And one thing that always used to surprise me, people used to kind of disregard her because, she's just an assistant. And she could do a better Emsley count than most men, And, she was great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, you're obviously still living in Ireland?
Still living in Ireland,
Whereabouts? Have you moved cities? Or
No, I'm just south of Dublin now. I moved out of the city and I'm living in the rural kind of country area.
Have you retired more now, or what are you doing now?
No, I'm not retired. I don't do as much as I used to. And I was just talking to Vanny Poulet, and we were just talking about we don't do the sub-trunk anymore because our knees just won't take it.
Yeah.
But other than that, things are fine. I'm working on a new show at the moment, and because during lockdown I started to write.
Tell me about that.
Well, it's a Houdini show, and I know there's lots of Houdini shows out there, but this one is slightly different. It's coming at it from a different angle.
All right.
And because I want to talk more about why he became famous, but how he stayed famous, because he is still the world's most recognizable magician.
Right.
And I think I've discovered some of the reasons why, and I just want to put it into a show, and hoping that by probably September this year we'll have it out on the road.
So it's a one-man show that is a theatrical play?
Yeah, it's more of a play rather than a show. But it's a one-man show in a sense, but because I can't do the sub-trunk anymore, there'll be my assistant and also a younger magician who will do the stuff that I can no longer do.
Just play music halls and that kind of a thing? I guess? Okay.
Yeah. And yes, it's a theatre show as opposed to a cabaret type of thing,
I understand.
And for a different kind of audience, because it's... in Ireland, we have, your general go to a cabaret show, or you have people who go to the theatre.
Uh-huh.
And I want to get to the people who go to the theatre.
Yes, it's a different clientele, different group of people.
Absolutely,
yeah. That's interesting. Do you get over to Blackpool every year?
Every year.
So what number is this for you? Like number 20?
Well, I came here in 1994. I mean, Blackpool was so good to me because I came to do the British Magical Championships, of which we won a whole new range of people here. Before we left the Horseshoe Bar that night, I had 4 lectures booked. I had 4 conventions booked.
Yeah.
Because people saw you and it was the first time they'd really see. Even though I'd been touring here, it was open to magicians. And I've never looked back, so Blackpool was always good to me. Derek Lever
was very close to your heart.
Very much so,
yeah.
And since 94, I've only missed 2.
You're still inventing. Only missed 2. Is that right? Are you still inventing things?
Yeah.
Because I remember one thing that you gave me when we first had met. That was a little leprechaun trick.
Yeah, the ultimate Irish 3-card trick.
You still sell that, I guess.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and I've still come up with new ideas. I still lecture and so on. But I've never been a dealer. I wouldn't come here as a dealer.
Yeah.
I like to come here and enjoy myself and meet people like you and have a conversation. Chat.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think a lot of conventions are about. A lot of people miss that or don't understand that. Those who've not been to magic conventions, I'm always encouraging them. That's why I like to record these convention reports to kind of let them get the feel of what it was actually be like if you would actually come to these things, because we see each other, we make friends, and that's not the kind of thing you can do online or Zoom or whatever. It really has to be face-to-face and eye-to-eye.
Yeah, and I met David Regal in Australia when I was doing a convention there, and we become good friends. And I met him for dinner last night. But we ended up with 10 people. And I'm not going to start name dropping, but it was an amazing experience to meet people who you know really well.
Yes.
But don't get the opportunity to meet and have a conversation.
That's a very good point.
And that's what magic conventions are about.
Yeah,
I'm not really interested in the latest new thing. Mm-hmm. It's the latest new people I want to meet.
It's what?
The latest new people.
Oh, the latest new people. Yes, right. Yeah. And we do get to hear about these people because they're new inventors, they're new illusionists or performers of some sort or another. Yeah. And so, it's a good place to meet people. Pat, always good to see you.
And
thanks
you
very
too.
much, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Magic Word Podcast. From Ireland, that was Pat Fallon. Scotty out. Well, I just finished with Pat, and I had hardly turned off the microphone. Then a couple of my mates had come in all the way from Scotland, actually from England, or from the.
Scotland,
where are you living now?
Scotland.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
You know, it's very insulting to say England to a Scottish person.
Our Paul Wilson. No, what I meant to say was when we saw each other in New Orleans, did you come over from Scotland then for that? For some reason, I thought you were in L.A. with David Regal here.
I was after that, but I was in New Orleans from Scotland. Yeah.
But you don't have an apartment or anything over in
Not
LA.
anymore, no, not anymore.
But you lived there for a while.
I did.
And that was kind of what I guess I was confused about. And you still hang out there, David? David Regal?
Yeah.
So good to see you.
I live in Burbank. I painted the house. I can't go anywhere.
You're not far from the airport then, are you?
No, I'm very close to that airport.
Yeah. Can you actually hear them coming in?
Yes, I can.
That's one of the coolest airports. You actually have to exit the plane by the rear, and you can walk down the stairway. You know?
Yeah, everyone that likes Burbank likes it because it's rinky-dink, but they're trying to turn it into a metropolis. Hopefully, someone will put a stop to that. Hopefully,
I hope they do. You guys are going to be doing something here this year. You are, David, aren't you?
I'm going to be lecturing and doing close-up. Today's my day off, so I'm walking around looking at the 5 billion dealers that are here.
I thought there was a close-up show today at noon.
I think there is.
But you're not on this one?
No, I have today off.
Yeah, okay. And you're just here to...
I'm just hanging out.
How many times have you been to this?
Since I was 16 years old, I don't think I've missed more than one or two.
2 or 3 then?
So more than 10.
Okay.
More than 10.
What is it that makes you want to keep coming back all the time?
Nostalgia.
Glorpy. If you had to say it in one word, it would be Glorpy, the Haunted Hank.
I think FOMO. I think it's definitely nostalgia. This is Blackpool's kind of got a weird place in the memory of the whole country, because when you're a kid, you come to places like this. If you're, for seaside holidays, and when you're a magician, you come here, and it's much more advanced as a town than it used to be. It used to be like going back to maybe 50 years backwards in time.
We call that the Catskills, I think.
Basically, yeah. And I think there's a charm to it that I quite enjoy. I have to say, pretty much every time I leave Blackpool, exhausted, bruised, and I have said many times, that's it. I don't need to come back to this place anymore. And every January, I'm just dying to come back. So that's why.
Well, I know I see you also then at Magic Live. It seems like you and I are always about in the registration line at about the same time.
Pretty much, yeah. If you're not there, I don't register.
Are you coming this year as well?
Should be there, yeah.
All righty. And David, of course.
Of course, what?
Going to Magic Live this year?
I never know. I sort of just play it by ear.
Because you're writing. You're busy. I mean, you got like another
thing. Somehow I'm busy, for now.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I guess.
What's your latest project? You working with TV or movie?
I'm working on a movie script with a couple of guys and a female director, and who knows if those things happen or not, but I stay busy.
Keep our fingers and toes crossed. Nice. Hope that works out for you. Are you working on anything new series?
Still finishing the Tamariz movie, and 2 other projects are happening, but I wait and see. When it happens, it happens. And in the meantime,
I'm anxious to see the movie Lost in the Shuffle with Sean Farquhar.
Yeah, I'm keen to see that too.
You were involved in that, weren't you?
Not at all.
They didn't talk to you or interview you?
No, they didn't. Very wisely, so they spoke to much better magicians.
But were you in the Erdnase movie?
I am. I'm in the Erdnase movie, both of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought there were a couple of, quote, documentaries, I guess, that are out there.
I'm in a movie called Lust in Chains. I needed the money, and I'm not ashamed.
Yeah.
Did you have a starring role, or you just have a bit part?
I wish it didn't go there, but let's just say you can notice me from a certain angle.
From a certain angle, you can see, recognize that birthmark.
Exactly.
Thanks a lot. So for the Magic Word Podcast, R. Paul Wilson, and that was David Regal. Scotty out. Well, we were at the Magic Circle recently, and you heard some of the conversations I had with people. It was a very busy night. Didn't get around to talking with everyone, but now that I'm here, there are even more people. But I thought, okay, I'm definitely going to talk with Brendan because, and here he is, by the way, Brendan Rodriguez. Hey there, Brendan. How are you?
Yes, hello. Nice to see you again.
Good seeing you again as well. We ran into each other last evening, it just so happened, when we were chatting for your vlog. So tell us about your vlog, by the way.
Oh, okay. So I do this every year. I think it's more like a tradition now that I do. And every year people keep messaging me, are you going to do your vlog again? And I said, yeah, for sure, I'll do it again. So what I tend to do is try and film as much as I can at the convention. I try and film the dealers, lectures, everything. It's clearly not possible to film everything, but right. I'll film as much as I can and then try and piece it all together into one little 20-minute segment.
You get hours of stuff and then you leave hours of
Absolutely.
stuff you cut out.
But someone did tell me this time, do you know what? Why don't you actually make unseen footage, or so you do your main Blackpool vlog and then throughout the next few months add in bits of things that couldn't really be on the vlog. So I might tend to do that this year, and we'll see how it is.
You think that'd be interesting?
Well, we'll give it a go. It's the first year of ever me doing something like that, so yeah.
I never thought about the cutting room floor. I mean, kind of stuff.
It's
like what's left behind.
Make it. Yeah. Just the random, maybe the bloopers or whatever.
So tell me about this convention. You come every year, I assume.
Every year. So for the past 11, I don't even remember when I came, but about 11 years ago, I've been here pretty much every single year, even the pandemic, because I was one of the very few people that were brought in to the convention in the pandemic just to do an online, the first ever.
I think I remember that.
Thing.
That was when John Archer was hosting.
John Archer, yes.
So I do remember seeing you there.
Yes,
okay,
he interviewed me on that thing, and I did a little tribute to my friend Diobo, who had passed away that year. The convention was it was suicide.
Okay.
Yeah. He took his life, and it was just these things happen sometimes in the magic world, and so the whole tribute was for him, and then I made a little tribute video on my YouTube channel for him. And I don't think I've ever missed a single convention. I don't think I probably will miss another convention.
As long as you live.
Exactly.
Well, I think it's great what you're doing as far as giving people an opportunity, to see these things. Which is another thing
you're doing too.
Well, thank you. Preserving history, aren't we?
Yes,
so to speak. But yours is a little bit more difficult from the standpoint you combine video and audio. My audio is a little bit easier because you've got to clip everything and put things together, and I just kind of let it go raw, out there basically.
I guess some people like the whole raw thing, the whole.
I tend to think so as well. That's why I do it. I mean, there's room for all of us, out there in the cyberspace, certainly. Going back to the Zoom convention during COVID with John Archer and you, that's one of the cool things I think that we got in our packet this year was a little flash drive that included the 2021 Zoom convention. Did you look at that? See what was in your...
No, I didn't.
Yeah. They gave us, in that bag of goodies or whatever with the registration and badges and all that stuff in the program. One of them was a little flashlight, clever, with a flash drive, built in with the convention on it.
Well, I didn't get it because I feel bad saying this, but I'm sure I can. Okay, so we all know that artists get free tickets to the convention. Yeah. Now, last year I opened the Sunday night gala, and it was a last-minute thing because I had booked my tickets already. So what Russ Stevens did this year is that I've got a ticket for you. So I didn't really get any goodie bag with it. Yeah. I just got the tickets. So maybe I'll ask him and he'll give me a flash drive.
You have to say, hey, I heard there's a flash drive. And you say, we got one here for you. Well, Brendan, great talking with you.
You too, Scott.
And have a great convention.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed it.
For the Magic Word Podcast. That was, by the way, where can people find the vlog?
Oh, it's on my YouTube channel. Just type in Brendan, Brendon. Brendan, Brendan Magic on YouTube, and my channel should be the first one that pops up.
And there we go. Brendan Nascotti, out.
Thank you.
Well, on my way over to the Durham Lounge to see another performer, I run into another friend. I mean, this is just a convention full of friends. And I'm so glad you guys, if you listen to or read the New Zealand e-zine, you read...
Magic New Zealand.
That's right. What is the column, Stone?
It's called No Stone Unturned.
Okay, No Stone Unturned, which was also the title of the episode I did with Paul Stone, and here he is right now. Hey, man. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Nice to see you.
Fantastic. Now, you live in Liverpool, which is not far.
No, I don't live in Liverpool. No, I grew up in Liverpool.
That's what I mean. You grew up there.
Yeah, my home city.
But you used to come down to Blackpool probably as a kid.
I've been coming to this convention for over 50 years.
Wow, well, and so what were you just saying a while ago to me about this being your 50th what?
This is my 50th year as a show producer.
As a show producer, okay.
Yeah, big year. In fact, doing a little event in Vegas in May, and then I'm hoping...
What is that? What's that event? Is that open to the public or not?
Well, it is actually open to the public, but it's just, we're doing like a VIP reception and a little show there as well, which is open to the public, on the 15th of May at the Ahern Hotel, but it's very limited tickets. There's only 50 tickets for the public, because the room only holds 100 people.
Right.
But there'll be a lot of the great and the good will be there, as friends of mine, and then some ordinary people, normal people.
So why do you keep coming back every year?
Well, Blackpool, I mean, as a kid, because I grew up in Liverpool, so for us, Blackpool, going back in those days when I was growing up, they used to have 5 theatres here. They had the 3 piers, the North Pier, South Pier, Central Pier, and 2 other theatres, and they had fantastic shows. All the big stars were here, everybody. I mean, it was the place to come. Blackpool used to be a really classy place.
Yeah.
Now it's a bit more like Coney Island, but in February it's cold and windy, as you know.
Yeah.
But the convention, for whatever reason, it started off in the Pleasure Beach with 500 people. I remember being there, watching Ken Brook demonstrate there with 500 people. Then it grew, and we had a guy called Harry Dewhurst used to organise the convention, then Tom Owen and Bill Lamb, and then Derek Lever, and then it obviously got bigger and bigger, and now you're over 4,000 people.
That's just amazing.
It is. And there's not 170 dealers. It's crazy, It's basically about friends, isn't it, though?
It really is. I was just talking to Pat Fallon. That was what he was saying. He comes every year really to see
it's
friends.
just the people, and you never know who you're going to meet. My goodness me, you meet Santa.
Now, whenever you had said you were from Liverpool and being there for so long, did you ever see the Beatles before they came to America? So
I did. I was. I'm not going to say how old I was, but I was young, and I saw them at the Cavern. They played at the Cavern 290 times. They used to do lunchtime shows there as well, but I was dragged in by my sister, who was a bit older than me. I snuck in, and I shouldn't have done.
Was she still screaming back then?
Oh, God, very much so. My God, yeah.
So
yes.
they were really hot.
Funny enough, she's still screaming now, but that's a whole other story. But, it was good. So it was great. So we just had Matt King and Jen and Mike and Tina, and we just did we just spent a day and a half in Liverpool, and we did the whole Beatles thing, everything, even the ferry across the Mersey, the old Jerry and the Pacemakers. We did the Cavern. Then we went to Eleanor Rigby's grave, and where Paul McCartney's house, and John. It was great. It's the Paul Stone tour, which has been seen now by Bill Smith, Kevin James and his wife, Lynette Chappelle. They've all been and done the Paul Stone Liverpool tour. You've got to do it.
I really want to do that in the future.
Well, you're invited. If you're here next year, we'll do it, right?
I'll have to contact you well in advance in order to get up to do this, because I haven't been to Blackpool. This is my second time. First one was 2005, so it's been a while.
Yeah, and it's increased since then. More people.
Oh my goodness!
It's huge now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's hard to get through the dealer's room, and I'm just kind of looking left and right, and there's so many things that attract your attention, and if you just have, a little bit of. If you don't have the good attention span, it's like a goldfish. Oh my gosh, look at that.
No, you don't know where to look, absolutely. The only thing that hasn't changed is the weather, right?
Well, that's true. It's still,
still cold and wet. It's not nice, but hey, you know what? And I feel the cold now. I've spent so long 15 years in Vegas, and before that in Phoenix. I think now my blood thinned, and now this cold weather, I can't imagine how I used to be here.
You are a peripatetic magician. So
what does that mean, please?
Peripatetic?
Yeah,
that means that you travel, you walk
I just want to check that's what you meant. Okay,
yes.
Just in case.
Yes. So in doing that, where do you live now? I mean, do you live in Vegas, or you live back in here in England?
No,
you moved back here.
I'm not. I'm actually at the moment. I'm in LA at the moment.
Okay.
Okay. But I've been in Vegas 15 years. I'm just taking a break from there, and I'm in LA at the moment. But I'm trying to do it so I can spend some time here in England.
Yep.
But most time there, because both my boys are over there. So
over there now. When you say there,
over in Vegas. Well, Ben's obviously is a singer in Vegas, and my other son is a professional head coach, soccer coach in Phoenix, Arizona. Arizona, which is where we actually spent 3 or 4 years going back, when they were growing up.
Love Phoenix. I had my parents had moved there after my dad retired, so they passed, but I still get out there from time to time.
I just go there for the cool weather, Vegas and Phoenix.
Yeah, that's why my mom and dad moved there. My mom had arthritis, and it was drier climate
Dry
there.
heat, absolutely.
Yeah, but then they started building all these pools, and that put humidity back into the air.
There you go.
So.
Yeah,
but anyhow, Paul Stone, great seeing you.
It's really good to see you. It's a nice surprise. We'll see you soon. Take care.
For the Magic Word Podcast, that's Paul Stone. Scotty out. While I was talking with Paul, I'm standing here in front of the registration booth area, and there are 2 different registration areas. Actually, one that's going to be for the general registrants and one that's a VIP registration area, and I'm here with that lady who is checking you in. That's Tracy Bradshaw. Hi there, Tracy.
Hello, how are you all? How are you doing?
Fantastic, thank you. So tell me, what's the difference? What do people get for VIP versus regular?
So VIP is a really good opportunity for those who want to get really good seats. So if you want to get a really good seat for the shows in the evening, if you want to get good seats when you're doing lectures, you get really fantastic seats for that. You also get to see me, of course. And
That's a plus right there.
And you also get to come along, you get in straight away, there's no queues, and you also get your badges and your bags and everything else. So it's a really good opportunity if you don't want to be spending time in the big queue and you want to have a really good seat to see all the shows, then it's fantastic.
Is there anything special or different that we get in our bags for that?
Yeah, so if you go just normal, you don't get a bag, so you get one of these wonderful bags. So just a lovely little bag, and inside there's lots of little bits. I can just show you a couple of things that we've got in there. So we've got our some lovely pictures of all the...
Jumbo playing cards, basically. There.
Yeah.
But of the performers' pictures.
That's it, fantastic. And then we've got a special key ring in here, which is obviously the Blackpool key ring.
It's more than just a key ring. It actually is a flashlight and a flash drive, right?
Yeah, it's for a flash drive, but you can put it on as a key ring as well, so it's really good. And then you've also got... let's see what else we've got in here. You've got your special coin. Now, if you've been coming for VIP, you'll know that you get one of these every year, and they're collectible, so you can collect your coins every year. Okay. And that's basically what you get. But I think the main attraction is obviously coming in, not having to stand with the queues, but also getting in your favourite seat that you want to see.
Is this something that's relatively new as far as the VIP pack experience, or have they had this for years?
I'm sure they've had this going on for quite some time.
Are you a member of the BMC, the British Magic?
My husband is, so I'm here with my husband. But we've been magicians for many years ourselves. So but my husband's just over there. But unfortunately, he didn't get the VIP for today, so it's just me. But so it's really good experience, and obviously you know from experience what a wonderful day this is, and it just beats that you having to be in the queues for a long time as well.
And they've already set the date for next year's convention. Do you remember when it is?
Unfortunately, I don't.
I have to look at the program. I don't have the program handy. I think it's right here, isn't it? So I'm looking at this. Tracy's going to quickly look that up. Is it towards the back, I think, or somewhere I saw that?
Where did you
look on the last page, I thought.
Let's have a little look.
Nope, I thought it was someplace in here that would tell... there it is. Next year, 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th, February 2025, and they can go then to register soon after this, I guess. And so when will they open registration here?
Yeah, registration will be open soon after today. So best thing to do is go and see these guys. We have so many wonderful guys on reception, and they will be there to help you. If you want to come in today and book a ticket, you can book in straight away. And if you want to go and get your gold cards, they're all there ready. But we have an amazing team.
What's the gold card? How's that different from regular registration?
So the gold card is different in the fact that you don't have VIP access, so you don't get into the queues as quick, and you also have to the difference is you don't get to choose your seats and things like that. So it's more of the seats.
Great. Tracy, thanks very much. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you. Love to meet you.
Magic Word Podcast. That was Tracy Bradshaw. Scotty out.
Bye-bye.
I think it's important that we do talk with the organizers. As I was just talking with Tracy, who is working at the registration desk, I thought it'd be interesting to speak with a person who's actually a member of the Blackpool Magic Club. And I have David Plant with me that we're in right now from Blackpool. You live here in Blackpool, is that right? Now here he is, David. Hi, David.
I do. Hello there.
I'm sure you're welcoming us all here to this convention.
It's getting bigger and bigger, and we invite everybody to come to Blackpool.
How many people approximately? Do you have a range of what you think are here?
Well, I can see you've got a VIP ticket,
yeah.
So there's 350 of those. 380, I think, are VIPs.
Okay.
The gold car, there's 4,000.
4,000, okay.
4,000.
There's 350,
yeah. And then there's also daily tickets. So you can buy an individual daily ticket for Friday, a Saturday or Sunday. Mm-hmm. And we're amounting to over 5,000, just over 5,000.
We're in a booth right now, so we're actually not in the dealer's room, which is why you can hear David and I so much more clear than when I was talking with some of the other gentlemen in the dealer's room. It was such a cacophony. It was so busy behind us here. But so it is a little bit quiet, and I see that at this booth you have then a timeline of, I guess, the Blackpool Magicians Club, then, of when you first started, or tell me just a brief...
Well, that is from when it first started in 1941. It started for a half-day convention. So many, a little member, there was maybe 5 or 6 people who started the club up. They was having meetings in someone's front room at home. And they did all sorts of things, playing a few card tricks, playing a violin maybe,
yeah.
Telling a few jokes. The wife of one of the magicians may have done tea and coffee and a few sandwiches. And it got built bigger and bigger till it went into maybe a church hall, and then a school hall, and then sooner or later they decided to have a big convention, which never been before. This was held at the Horseshoe Bar at the Pleasure Beach, it was only a half day. But when you first went in, I can't tell you how many people went to it because I wasn't born then. But the case is, they had tea and coffee and welcoming people. Ken Brook was one of the performers then, and there was 1 or 2 other people there. They only did about 2 hours or an hour and a half, but it grew and grew and grew. And then that was also one of the convention organisers was Harry Dewhurst, a very nice gentleman of the club sort of thing. I only knew him for about 5 years. He did it for quite a few years, and Tom Owen took it on for quite some time, and it became what was called the biggest one-day convention in the world.
I remember Macmillan used to have a weekend convention.
Ron Macmillan, yes, yeah, they did that, but we always try to outdo everybody.
Of course.
So now it's gone to a 3-day convention. Derek Lever, who was a conventioneer then, he's just passed away, and his funeral was yesterday, which I'm heartbroken because I couldn't get to the funeral.
I was on the train, and as they were taking our tickets, the guy was obviously not a magician, but so we were going to Blackpool and said we were going to Magicians Convention. He said, well, I heard about the gentleman who had just passed. I mean, it's major news.
This was big news in Blackpool. It is, and in magic in general, because he was the TV magic show or entertainment show is Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah, okay.
And in them days, Derek Lever was the first magician to win not a children's, a talent contest show. Mm-hmm. And he was he was a brilliant, he was a dealer, he performed magic, he sold magic, and it's a shame that he's passed away.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So we've come all the way up then to where we are then now. Of course, we had
2020.
We had FISM. What year was the FISM here?
That was 2012. Now, in 2009, we had to go to Beijing. We did. There was 6 members of the club who went there, and we had to do a portfolio and everything. And that was a mammoth task to do that sort of thing. Because they came to us, and we put the biggest. We're in the Guinness Book of Records of the biggest magic show convention in the world, the biggest dealers in the world, the biggest conventioneers in the world, the most amount of people for one event. And we're very proud, and every year we're trying to make it bigger and better.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I mean, in 2012 was a big step when we had the FISM.
It's hard to organize something that's the size of a small city, you know.
Oh, God.
You stop to think about all the details, and so I assume after this is over, you must start working on next year.
We've already started. We have already started, so much so the new registration opens midnight on Sunday night.
Okay.
After the convention, at midnight, you can buy tickets for next year.
Here or the
No,
registration?
online.
Online, okay.
Online, you'll be able to. And we generally, I don't know whether I should be saying how much, but in one day we make a record number of people buying tickets, and nobody knows who's coming. All they know is that when they come to Blackpool, it'll be good, it'll be big, and there'll be something that they've never seen before. And we're proud of that.
Well, so many people said to me before, like many conventions, they go to see friends, and that's what this is all about.
Yeah. Well, there's
and make new ones too.
Yes, meeting
we just
lots,
make.
and yes, it's nice to meet new people like that. Yeah, I don't speak any foreign language, so but it's still magic joins people together, sort of thing, and yeah, it's great. We have one or two problems every year because we had the registration desk at the other end of the building last year and the year before. Now but it's been forced because
live and learn.
We've used the room into doing something else, sort of thing, like, you know. So we're always trying things out.
I like it. You're doing a great job. I appreciate what you guys are doing. David, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Scott, and nice to meet you.
My pleasure. It's over the Magic Word Podcast. That was David Plant. Scotty out. There are so many people here I know for the first time. We've talked with some people already who have been here forever, it seems like, and go to this convention every year. But I got with me a friend who actually was on a previous episode. If you go back into the archives or do a search for Anders Bollinger, he was one of my guests because he's not only a friend but also a trade show magician, and well worth listening to that particular episode. But he's here now for his first time at Blackpool. Hey, Anders, how are you, man?
I'm great, Scott. Thanks for having me on again.
Well, I'm glad to have you here. I'm glad that you made it to Blackpool. And so this weather kind of like what it is back in Winnipeg?
No, it's nicer. Much nicer here. So I just got my little spring jacket on. I live in Winnipeg, Canada, or Winterpeg as they call it. So.
Winterpeg.
Yeah.
Is there snow and ice on the ground right now?
Oh, yeah, for sure. But we've had actually a fairly mild winter, so it hasn't been too bad. So
do you ski?
I don't ski, but we're in
ice skate or play hockey or.
Oh yeah, we skate. We have a rink nearby, and we can skate on the river. So we actually have the world's longest skating trail because they just clear off the river. And then
now, what does that mean? Like about a mile or two or 20 miles?
I forget how far it is, but it's quite a ways. It would be miles. I should know it, but
I never thought about that.
Yeah, it depends how long they clear it that year. They can just keep clearing it further on the river.
Because I think about in the U.S. where we have hiking trails or just walking paths, but you've got ice skating trails. Wow.
It's good exercise too.
Well, I'm sure that it is, just like cross country skiing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So this is your first time at Blackpool, and you said you just happened to have a break in your trade show schedule to come over here and kind of at the last minute decision kind of a thing.
Yeah, last week I think I was talking to Richard Steele, who's
he's a trade,
in Pro Mystic, and
trade show guy.
Yeah, he said, oh, it's on, and I was like, oh, I keep saying I want to go, and then I would kind of forget about it or whatever, and then I realized too, my wife's birthday was on the 15th, Valentine's Day on the 14th. I always get this bang bang in a row kind of thing. But she's a very good woman, and she said you should go, and it was kind of like at least a bucket list kind of thing for me that I should go at least once. So I bought some flights and got myself here, and so far it's just pretty amazing how many magicians are here. And last night, which was Thursday night before it kind of really starts, I guess the auction was on yesterday, it was just neat being in Blackpool and seeing like groups of men just kind of migrating around between venues and like going to the Ruskin and it's just and even on the way here traveling, I would look at people and kind of go, they're probably a magician, right? Like you kind of like the closer you got to Blackpool, the better chance that you're right about that. Yeah.
That's true. Now, it's interesting you say this was like on your bucket list, so why did you want to come to Blackpool? I mean, when did you hear about the first one, or what?
Yeah, I heard about it years ago from a magician who just passed away, Joe Cofort, who is a magician in Winnipeg for years and years. He used to live in London, and so he would come to Blackpool years ago when he lived here. And so he talked about it, and then Richard Steele talked about how huge it is and how many vendors there are. And I was explaining to my son, who loves comic books and everything, that this is the San Diego Comic-Con for magicians, is what Blackpool is, right?
That's a very good analogy.
Yeah. So that's kind of, it's been on my radar for the last, I don't know.
Is it meeting your expectations so far?
Yes. And it just, the venue, the Winter Gardens, is just so fantastic. Like, it has this kind of old-time kind of, feel to it and vibe going on, but just the fact that there's these massive halls that can host like these big lectures, and all in one building. So it's just a great venue.
I like the international talent also that I don't get to see in the U.S. at the other conventions. In the U.S., when we do bring in someone from overseas, it's a specialty act or two. Whereas here, I think Americans are the specialty act. Like this year, we got Matt King and Mike Caveney and a few other Americans who are here, but really most are, from France and from India or from Argentina, I don't know, wherever around the world, it seems Germany.
And the thing, too, that I always think about is Europeans have much more of an artistic side of things. Like, not to put down Americans or anything, but just there is this kind of maybe more variety in how they approach things, but also just because there's so many people in so many countries in Europe and it's so easy to get here, it's just kind of beautiful seeing something that is quite affordable convention,
right?
That attracts so many people, and then you get these economies of scale that you can, bring in lots of great acts and that sort of thing.
We were talking earlier, you and I, Anders, about the dealers and, buying stuff for our shows or whatever. Is there something that you have seen or heard someone talk about so far in the dealer's room that's like, oh, you got to go see this, or...
Well, I saw some pretty cool demos, a lot of technological things that are just so cool that you feel like there's something about magic effects that when the secret is like a cool gadget that makes you feel like James Bond, it makes you want to buy it, right? Like, So, there's definitely some things that I like. I could see myself buying them, but I can also see myself not really using them and just maybe showing them to my magician buddies, right?
Like, because they're cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's good to see you then here as well. So we'll see you throughout the convention. I'm looking forward to the rest of this then, too. I mean, this isn't the first day even yet over. I mean, there's just so much to see and do. And as you've heard from some of the other conversations that I've had with a few people, and this being an overly long, particular first day episode, stick with us for the next couple of days then, too. We've still got more to go. Thanks, Anders, very much.
Thanks for having me, Scott.
That was Anders Boulanger, Scotty out. We just finished a lecture with Tom Wright and now heading into one of the other lectures with Marvin Bergas. And I say one of the others because there are a couple things going on, but I thought it'd be interesting to hear Marvin. I'm here right now with a fellow while we're standing in line. This is Keith, I'm sorry again? McCabe from Ireland. Whereabouts in Ireland? Hello. By the way, Keith.
Hello, Scott Wells. From Republic of Ireland, County Meath. So it's not too far from Dublin. I've been coming here for about 20 years, and Marvin Bergas got me into magic.
Oh, is that right?
That's correct.
That's why you're excited to see this lecture.
I'm very excited to see it.
Are you a member of the Magic Circle?
Unfortunately, I'm not.
Do they have, I know they got magic organizations in Ireland then also, but there are not a lot of magic clubs in Ireland. There's certainly not as many as there are in England, I guess, but there are a few clubs.
There is one particular club in Dublin, the Society of Irish Magicians. You have members, Pat Fallon from Ireland, you have Kid Barry, you have a few others, to name but a few. I've attended a few conventions over the years, and they're all here every year. So I come every year, and I get to see them.
What do you expect to see or want to see when you come here?
I always like to learn something new. If it's creative, learn something new with comedy, stage presence, but not so much buy-in tricks, because I have enough of material. So education
You're a real magician then. If you can recognize that you have enough stuff, you just need to know how to present it better. And that's a wise thing. You finally hit that point, and that's it. We got enough magic stuff. We don't need to be necessarily buying a lot. Although they got a lot of cool stuff here. But we need to know how to perform what we have better, and this is the place to do it.
Correct. I have about 50 kids' tricks, and I constantly work on them and come up with my own creations. Like a chop cup, I have music with it, a silent act, and it's circus music, and it is something that I came up with myself, but I haven't seen anybody else do it, so I'm proud of myself doing that. And
for kids shows?
For kids shows.
Huh. Now, is it kind of like a Paul Daniels routine?
A mixture of everything.
Okay.
It started off with like a padlock, have Houdini, and then it changed and different slates and kind of acting like Mr. Bean a little bit.
Mr. Bean's funny, yeah.
That bit of a character.
What about the children? I assume that is it like a sucker thing where you kind of get them involved? Is it here? It's not there? Or any of that kind of thing going on? Or what? You say the kids love it, though.
Yes, because it's circus, so they just sit down and watch it. And they're amazed at what's happening because they don't know what's coming next.
I see.
And it's and then at the end I produce a lemon and a lime. But then I changed it then to little colourful footballs because it associates more with the circus, more so than a lemon.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Sure.
Tweaking it a little bit every so often.
So are there a lot of magicians who are doing birthday parties in Ireland then too? Hey, there's Harrison Greenbaum right there. Hey, say hello.
Hello.
And you got a show tonight too. This is Harrison Greenbaum. By the way, this is Keith David.
Hi. Pleasure.
You going to sit with us?
Sure.
Come on. So we'll be chatting with you here a little bit later, but he was telling us about...
I got shows all night.
You got
That's
right.
Shows tonight.
Every night.
Tonight's the show, tomorrow's the roast, then Sunday's the show, and also doing a lecture during the day on Sunday. So I'm going to need a long nap after this.
Well, let's see if we can get a seat in here. So there are a lot of birthday parties. Because I know Pat Fallon's not traveling like he used to. Where do you want to sit?
I'm going to hang out on the back, I think.
Well,
it's just nice. Yeah.
Is that
You've
one
been very active podcasting.
Well, that's my job.
He goes everywhere he goes. He's podcasting.
That's right.
That's right. All right. Well, I think we're about to sit down. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very
Okay.
Nice
Glad
to
you're
meet
here.
you.
So, for the Magic Word Podcast, Scotty out. We just finished the evening show, I guess it was. Mike Cavney and Friends also was opposite of the Shutagawa show. And the Shutagawa show was full. And we're going to be repeating these shows, they're doing back-to-back. And I'm here with a friend from Saudi Arabia, Mundo. Hey.
Hi, Scott. Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
You had stopped me for a minute and said you enjoyed the podcast, so I'm so glad that you do. Thanks for being
with us.
a
It's an amazing podcast. Thank you for all you're doing for the magic community.
Well, you're welcome. And so tell me, do you come to Blackpool often? Is this one of your regular conventions? Or?
This is actually my third time. Yeah, I came here before COVID, and then we stopped for like 2 years, and then last year and this year, yeah.
Why did you decide to come to this one then? I mean, there are other conventions around the world, but I mean, like FISM and whatever.
Well, first of all, this is the largest convention in the world,
That's right.
Magic convention in the world, and it's the closest to my hometown, so it's like a 6-hour flight.
Okay. Also, like 6 hours from Saudi from here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
If I want to attend Magic Live, for example, that would take me like 13 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. So
have you been to Magic Live before then?
I haven't.
That ought to be on your bucket list. You need to come, man.
I will. Next year, hopefully. Yes.
Hope so, yeah.
Yes.
It's an enjoyable time.
Yes. Hopefully next year I'll be in Magic Live in Las Vegas. Yeah.
What type of magic do they do in the majority of, like in Saudi Arabia? I mean, for an example, I know Israel has a lot of medalists. We got a lot here in the UK then as well.
Mm-hmm.
What is big over there?
Well, we have not lots, but a handful of stage magicians and illusionists.
Okay.
Yeah, surprisingly, yeah.
Interesting.
We don't have a lot of mentalism. Mentalism is not very popular in our country.
Because of religion, I guess?
Actually, the market, the demand for more of visual and more
not close
flashy.
up, but they want flashy kind of theatrical type
exactly,
of, okay.
They don't find mentalism more appealing to the audience, yeah.
Do they have builders over in Saudi? I mean, like we have, Bill Smith, or you guys order illusions from here and then have them shipped? Or?
Yeah, exactly. We sort all of our material from the US and the UK. We don't have builders in magic. Yeah.
I'm surprised because I would think if it is a popular place, they kind of, there should be somebody say, hey, we can build them here because shipping costs have to be astronomical. The cost of the illusion is equal to the cost of postage.
Especially now, it's equivalent to the price of the illusion.
Yeah.
Even more.
Yeah. So what did you think of the show this evening, Mike Caveney and Friends?
Oh, I saw it last year, and it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. And it's always surprising every year. Mike Caveney is excellent. I love him.
He is a master, certainly, and he brought some good friends here this year. I've never seen Celia Munoz, who was a ventriloquist. I've never seen a ventriloquist do what she did.
Yes, exactly. I've seen her on, I think it's America's Got Talent.
Yes.
And it's very amazing to see her live. Mm-hmm. It's very amazing. I mean, the things that she does with her
puts
talent.
On lipstick while she's singing.
She
and,
drinks water while she's singing. So it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's truly amazing.
And so we're going to be seeing a gala show this evening. That should be a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to actually in an hour time.
We probably need to get some seats here shortly. One quick question. Then tonight there's going to be a choice between Harrison Greenbaum and then I think there's another show that's going on. Do you know which one you're going to be going to this evening?
I'm not sure, but I will check my listing and we'll decide later. Yes.
It's a hard thing when we have two different things. Let's see, wait a minute. The other one is Harrison. Whose Lie Is It Anyway? Not Whose Line, but Whose Lie Is It? It's a UK kind of...
so probably Harrison, because this looks like a contest, to me, so...
Yeah, I think it's perhaps going to be kind of like that then, too.
Yeah, so the Harrison thing.
It should be funny.
Definitely.
He's is for 18 over, so it's going to be kind of on the rude side.
Yeah, under the belt type of thing.
So to speak. Yes. There's no place he won't punch.
Exactly.
Mundo, thanks very much. It's a pleasure to meet you then, too.
It's a pleasure is all mine. I'm happy to see you here.
It's a pleasure to see you.
Big
thanks
fan
again
of the
for
podcast.
listening.
Thank you so much.
It's over the Magic Word Podcast. That's Mundo. Scotty out. Okay, we've just finished the show. We just were talking with a gentleman from Saudi Arabia. Now I'm going to speak with someone who is from Sweden. And Norway.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
The general area.
Yeah. Same place.
Sune Nerud Anderson. Hey there, Sune.
Yeah. Hi.
I'm glad that
nice to meet you, Scott.
It's good we put our faces together because I know you've been listening for a while. You've been a friend of the Magic Word for years. You've been someone who's been a patron. I would appreciate that. And for those of you who aren't and would be interested in donating, it would be helpful. Become a friend of the Magic Word. You can go check it out on the website. But Sune's been a long-time listener and first-time guest.
Yeah. Pleasure to be so. Yeah.
So tell me about this convention. Do you come here often to this Blackpool?
So I'm part of 30 Norwegians go here.
Wow, that's a big group.
Yeah. So they're actually the guys sitting here. This is a small part of the group.
Yeah.
And we travel here like a bunch of us take the same plane. Mm-hmm. And we tend to, some of drops off from time to time. This is my third time here. But some of the other guys have been here for 20 years. So it's my third time, I usually, if I want to go, I book my tickets not too far. So I bought my ticket 7 days ago and just decided to go,
Now, do you come just because of the camaraderie, because your buddies are coming, or do you come to see somebody in particular, or are you just one you come to?
So I've seen no lectures at all. I just go to see tricks, get inspiration, because I need some new slots in my show.
Sure.
And I saw Mike Caveney tonight, and it was absolutely awesome. Yeah, it was really good. But if I don't like a show, I just immediately go out. So I sit back in the lectures. If I don't enjoy it, I just leave. I'm too old to just sit there.
Life's too short to watch bad magic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, did you learn some stuff today? There were some very interesting speakers, I thought. Ben Hart was talking about how to build an act and everything, and of course, Steve Valentine was teaching some wonderful tricks, and there were a lot of great things. So, how about what did you learn? What have you?
Yeah. So I saw no lectures.
No lectures today.
No.
After you just said that's why you were coming for.
Yes. No. The opposite. I don't go to see lectures. I need to find new slots for tricks. So. For effect. So what I was looking for today was a smoke machine with a light. So I need a red light with a smoke when I do close-up magic, when I go around.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for an impression pan to replace the perfected set there by Richard Oslin, because I'm I think it's too hard.
You love that?
No, I think
you
it's
don't
too
like
hard.
Too hard to.
Yeah, but
something like it.
Yeah.
Well, they got 170 dealers here. So did you find something then, or?
Well, the fun part is that a lot of electronics, and it's bad reception here, so all the electronics are failing.
Yeah,
I find that funny.
Well, I'm glad it's not just me. I'm hoping that I can get this episode uploaded tonight, but our Wi-Fi at the hotel has been sketchy at best, and it's on, then it's off, and so I don't know. I may get frustrated and upload these later.
So about two things about the light and heavy card deck.
Chest,
card deck, actually.
Oh, I saw the card, I saw that.
Card deck, beautiful. 30 pounds, nothing, really fun. And I bought a new disappearing bottle from Henry Harris, like the beautiful.
I didn't know he was here, because I've got one of his Rubik's Cube in the bottle.
Yeah, he's here,
that you give out to the clients.
And I'm looking at the Solo sound system, going to buy that as well. Like the Solo sound system, where you have the RFID chips, and you can just do gestures, and then it will play a sound cue every time you do a gesture.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's like you're a conductor conducting the orchestra of that cube and playing however you want.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you can have a sticker underneath any of your props. You can just bring the prop up to your chest or any place you have the receiver, and it will play like the theme of that trick or the introduction. So you can have you can do a gesture where you welcome someone up to the stage, and it will play the same intro music every time. So usually now you use go button with a flick switch, but it's all sequential. But now you can play a previous sound cue over again.
Because you are giving it the gesture, and it will play whatever.
Yes.
It will skip forward or backward to whatever track your gesture indicates.
Yes.
What is that called? That's amazing. Solo.
Yeah.
How much does that run?
It's £600, but it's
It's how much?
£600.
It's not a bad deal, actually.
It's better than audio app. Sorry to say. Yeah. But now it also does video and light and audio and websites and everything. So everything can be packed in. You can put stickers underneath your equipment, so you can pull out the chop cup and just bring it up to the chest, and then it'll play that audio cue.
Interesting. What about the other guys? What have they found that they bought or thought was kind of cool?
Well, it's nothing yet. We the first day we just look around and we just discuss, and we buy the last day because
some things are gone though. I was talking to someone who was saying, I've forgotten what product it was, but they said it was gone by noon.
Wow. That's not usual. That's different. What kind of product was that?
I can't remember what it was they said. I don't remember.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. If I remember who told me that, I'll get back to you. Yeah. Not that you could find it now, but
because it's gone. Yeah.
And another friend of mine, Ari, who has a leather goods called Grum, and he's down on the floor, and he has a limited supply because it's all handmade leather goods. And he makes like a leather chop cup. It's a small thing, and things like that are all handmade.
That's beautiful.
And he said when they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah.
And so he's going to be showing it at Magic Live then also. Are you coming to Magic Live?
No, I'm not.
Have you ever been?
No.
That's a fun time.
Yeah, but the thing is I have 3 kids and a job that demands a lot, so I only travel when I can.
The gentleman I'm traveling with over here, Dal Sanders and Mark Whitehouse, are both past national presidents of the Society of American Musicians. And this year then also president and co-sponsors or co-producers of the Texas Association of Musicians /SAM/FISM /North American Championships. So it's a big convention called Magic Texas. It's going to be over first weekend in September. It's going to be like a mini FISM. It actually is. We're affiliated with FISM. You got to win in this contest to go further. So if you're thinking about coming to a convention, I'm telling you and anybody else who's listening, they ought to seriously consider coming to that one.
Yeah, and I'd like to say that this convention has really changed since the first time I was there. First it was 2012 or 2014, I think. Yeah. But now it shows that a lot of the really old timers, like the people who hasn't done magic for many years, they've gone. They're not here anymore. So there's a much younger audience here and a much fresher audience.
So that's why it's growing the way that it is.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, there are like 4,000 people here. I think they said 350 VIP registrations. That was capped out. And then they have as many as possible, I guess, at the goal, which they said we have 4,000 plus daily people coming in.
Yeah, it's much better now. And the dealer hall is much larger, much larger.
Yeah.
It used to be only the 2 circles, but now it's much larger now. So I really enjoy it. And
well, I'm enjoying it too, and especially because I got a chance to finally meet you.
Yeah, same.
Thank you, Sune. Appreciate your time.
So nice to meet you finally.
Magic Word Podcast. That was Sune Narud Anderson. This is Scotty out.